The hills are alive with the sound of screaming engines. Hi, and thanks for joining us for the 5th round of the Missed Apex Formula 3 Challenge as we travel to one of the most demanding of all Formula 1 circuits, the Red Bull Ring. From mind-bending elevation changes and punishing high-speed corners to the absolutely brutal curbing, the drivers will have no room for error on the unforgiving course as the championship boils over. To get us underway today, please give a big welcome to your commentators, Alan Ellard and Chris Stevens.
The hills are alive with the sound of horsepower. Welcome to Spielberg and the Red Bull Ring for the 5th round of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. We have got 3 13-lap races in store for you ahead of the finale coming up in a few weeks' time to this inaugural F3 season. My name is Chris Stevens. I'll be your lead commentator this evening. But in the meantime, let me run you through tonight's program. We are currently in the final 20 minutes of free practice before we go into the qualifying session, 10-minute session to determine pole position for that one. And unlike in iRacing officials, if you're an iRacer yourself, it is not 2 laps on your own. It is a 10-minute open session where we're going to have, I think, about 40 plus cars taking to this rather short track, and we could well be seeing some slipstreaming gamesmanship going on there, not unlike to the what we saw in the actual F3 race just a couple of weeks ago. And then, of course, into the 3 races. The first race, the feature race, determined by qualifying, that's worth 60 points, and then 2 top 20 reverse grid races, which are worth 50 points for a race win. If you are just joining us for the first time in the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup, you have missed a plethora of action in the first 4 rounds, but don't worry, here's a little VT to get you up to speed. Missed Apex Motorsport returned to action with the brand new iRacing F3 Cup, welcoming the new F3 car with a bumper 55 car field for some explosive action during the opening round at Spa. Danny Henny's title defense got off to a poor start after making contact with Brad Philpott on the opening lap. Then, they made contact! And Philpott, no! And Hatton is on the outside towards Lacon. We've seen people been able to make that move work. Can Hatton make it work? He breaks deep and goes around the outside and claims the lead. The pair spun in unison at the final corner. He has got the line. Is he just going to shove Hatton out? They both spin! Allowing Kyle Power to take the spoils as the first victor of the new series. Alexander Dobbelsberger was untouchable in the first of the 2 reverse grid sprint races after taking the lead early on. And he is about to take his first victory in the Formula 3 Cup. Henny got one last shot at victory in the 3rd race of the night. Henny is right there. Henny spun though! Henny spun out of 2nd place. Williams wins! Tim Ellis took his first podium of the season in race 3. And combined with his 7th and 4th place finishes in races 1 and 2, put him at the head of the championship. Henny struck back in the first race of the Nürburgring, taking a commanding win to start clawing back the gap to Ellis. Dorian Tabachnik delivered on his promising pace to take the win in race 2 on his Missed Apex Motorsport debut. Dorian Tabachnik, Dory as you know him on YouTube, and he takes the win in his first race in the Formula 3. Alex Joelsma had threatened winning pace during practice, and it finally came together for him in race 3 to take his maiden victory. Around the final corner, and Alex Joelsma is an iRacing F3 Cup race winner. What a display! Henny took another dominant feature race victory in Barcelona to become the first repeat winner of the season. The reigning Formula Renault Challenge champion didn't have an entirely smooth night, however, as he was caught up in an incident at the start of the first reverse grid race.
Dobbelsberger got in a crash, and that's taken out Henny as well, so 2 big rivals there out in the first lap.
Ishmael Basso fought his way through to take the win in race 2, despite a final corner spin. What?
He dropped it at the hairpin. He's managed to get it going again.
Hatton took advantage of a reverse grid pole to convert it into his first victory of the season. Unless we get anything wrong in these final couple of corners, it's going to be David Hatton who claims his first victory of the season. And that does not sound quite right, but believe me, it's true. The series returned to its most popular venue at Silverstone for the fourth round of the championship, where Henny not only claimed yet another feature race win, but also stormed through the order in the reverse grid race to make it 2 in a row. But here comes Danny Henny meanwhile, across the line, 2 race victories in a row! A mistake in race 3 meant he was unable to convert it into a triple, leaving Tim Ellis out in front to take his first win of the season, despite having led the championship since the first round at Spa. Ellis comes through the final corner. It's going to be a first victory of the season for the championship leader. With drop scores now taken into account ahead of the penultimate round of the championship, Henny leads Ellis by 38 points. Alexander Dolzberger and Kyle Power move up to 3rd and 4th in the standings respectively, ahead of the inaugural Formula Renault Challenge champion David Hatton. Just 1 point separates Basso and Drilsma at the head of the gold driver standings, while Lukas Raskowitz extended his lead in the silver standings. What an opening season we have had with this F3 car, and that 38-point lead for Danny Henny may look quite convincing at the moment, but with 2 rounds still to run, that's 320 points still on offer. So don't count out anyone just yet. This magnificent circuit that we are racing on tonight, it's a new addition to iRacing, the latest in their incredible range of tracks available. Currently we have Luca Harrison fastest in this practice session on a 1 minute 23.4, just 44 thousandths of a second ahead of championship leader Danny Henny. Now Henny has texted me to say that Harrison apparently went wide on that fastest lap, and that it was outside the bounds of track limits. Now in a practice session it still counts towards the standings. It will not in qualifying, but Henny very keen to run to teacher there and tell on Luca, but there'll be no hiding from it in qualifying, that's for sure. And don't forget that if you get 16 X's in one of the races, you will get a drive-through penalty, and we could well be at risk of that here more than anywhere else, because pretty much every corner is a potential track limits violation. Speaking of this circuit, Spanners took a trip around this beautiful mountainous circuit to guide you around.
Hey guys, Spanners here. I'm going to take you round a hottish lap of the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. I say hottish because it has been so hard for me to get a consistent lap here. Looking at race pace and looking at the relative box in the practice races, I feel like I can make a bit of progress up the field. But as far as hot laps are concerned, it really is hit and miss. So I'll do my best to take you around what I describe as a beautiful nightmare in iRacing, because the flowing circuit is so much fun to drive, but so impossible to get consistently right as we cross the start-finish line. Okay, so we head up towards turn 1. We brake a little bit early here, and we need to be on the power before the apex and make sure that back end kicks out to get the most out of that turn. You'd think with the uphill you brake as late as possible to take advantage, but we actually want to make sure that we're sacrificing entry for exit. So let's head up the hill now again to turn 2. It feels like you're braking forever. We're braking all the way down to that yellow inside apex curbing, and then it unsettles on the exit, but you can use that sausage curb as a kind of guide to go, yeah, you've gone too far, and the sausage curb ushers you back in. Turn 3, turn 4 in F1, you brake downhill, but there's an extra little bit of downhill as you get to the apex, so you have to account for that, and you definitely don't want to get dragged onto the gravel on the outside of turn 4. A lot of drivers here will over slow going into turn 5. You just got to drag those brakes and control it, then get back out, but not too far. Here, you need to stay on the red and white curb. Now here, red and white curbing, get back on the power and use all the green here on the right-hander. And now it's these nightmare final 2 turns, nearly impossible to get correct, but we're just going to drag the brakes, nowhere near maximum brakes. And we're going to make sure we go all the way out, use all the green. I said all the green, then all the green again into turn 9. Absolutely impossible to nail. I think it will be consistency and racecraft that decide this, not ultimate hot lap pace. It's going to be massively difficult to overtake. So I hope you enjoy iRacing with Missed Apex here at the Red Bull Ring.
What a fantastic circuit, and we're really looking forward to seeing how these cars go around it. No one's really quite sure what's going to happen because, frankly, none of us have any experience of racing on this track because it's a new addition. I don't even think they've had the officials race here yet. Although, of course, we've just had 2 Grand Prix here, so I think we can expect a few things like track limits warnings and pack racing, especially with the slipstream effect of these cars. Hopefully we have Ellen back with us now. Welcome back to the commentary box. You excited to get going for another round of action?
100%, yeah, definitely. And like you were just saying, because of what we've seen, I think recently in F1, I think we're excited to see how the drivers today respond to those track limits in particular, and everything else that this course, this very technical course, is going to throw. Course? I've got in the habit of that for some reason. Used to all the running stuff. That's the problem. All this very technical track is going to throw at them.
Well, you are going to be working on the Olympics later this year, no? So I think that's fair enough. We'll forgive you for that one. Speaking of those track limits, iRacing now offers a very handy guide to where specifically you must keep your wheels in bound. And so we'll be probably referring to that as the night progresses. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this session, and still Harrison leading the field, still hunting that inaugural win in Missed Apex Esports. Didn't get one in the Formula Renault, and has not had one in the F3 so far. Now, setups for today, I'm told, are going to be pretty similar. Missed Apex provides setups. In addition, you can find your own. It's an open setup championship, but we do like to help people who aren't necessarily, wouldn't know where to go. I certainly wouldn't know which way to go for setup if I were racing in this championship. I tend to get mine for the officials from VRS or PDS or places like that, or Craig's Setup Shop. Plenty of places where you can get those. But we provide one that I think pretty much everyone has gone for. But there's been a lot of talk in the iRacing arena about negative rake setups, which seem to be a little bit of a cheat. And on our iRacing podcast, we decided to delve a little bit deeper into this setup trick.
So I don't know where I land on this negative rake thing. We have found it worked very, very well at Spa. It worked very well at Monza, but I seriously questioned whether I should continue to use any negative rake setups because I felt like I was cheating.
So I think the point here is that there isn't, the reason Spanners thinks this is bordering on cheating is that there isn't a compromise with this particular setup. You're having the benefit of massive straight line speed whilst also still having really good cornering speed. But that's what this negative rake weird setup is supposed to do.
It's slightly less cornering speed. It's a little bit harder, but not as harder as it should be.
So for comparison, at Silverstone, I was a second and a half at best off my pace with the regular setup using the negative rake setup. It's really good at slow speed corners, but medium and high speed corners, you essentially have no downforce on the front of the car.
It's not worked as well at tracks like Silverstone or, with the highs.
This is a bit different then to what I thought, because the traditional, the negative rake setup that everybody was getting up in arms about wasn't quite like that. It wasn't where you had this trade-off.
Right.
Like, it sounds like this is just a perfectly legitimate setup trade-off where it's quick in the straights and it's not quite as good in the corners, and other people could have a different trade-off.
Okay, so what is the thing you have heard about? Because it might just be a variation of it.
Yeah, the controversial thing from a few months ago now, I guess it was where, and I'm pretty sure it started off at Spa, was a setup that I've used as well, where it was just as quick in the corners and also crazy fast on the straights, because somehow maybe it stalled the aero on the straights, which meant that over a certain speed, you just like lost all downforce, but it didn't matter because you were still just really, really fast. The moment you got below a certain speed, the air reconnected and you still had all the downforce in the corners. So that's when I was thinking, it's borderline cheating, but it's not cheating. What you're doing sounds like it's just legitimate, but it just seems to be working really well for you.
The Missed Apex iRacing podcast available on your podcatcher of choice, and the video version right here on this YouTube channel, Missed Apex Motorsport. So make sure you subscribe, check out the previous episodes, like the videos as well. They do really help us out in the fight against YouTube's algorithm. And if you haven't already, make sure you go and subscribe to the Missed Apex Podcast F1 account as well, and check out the latest Austrian Grand Prix review with myself and Ellen. We were on that show, and we spoke to Alex Brundle recently as well, so be sure to check that out. Loads of great content for you to check out on Missed Apex at the moment. 2.5 minutes remaining in this session. It's a perfect time to welcome the live chat room into this stream, so thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy tonight's festivities. We have Vasco in the chat, who's been here for quite a while, it seems. Am I early? Never too early, Vasco. Don't you ever worry about that. We also have C. Barry55, who might be a Carlos Sainz fan, is a long-time listener and first time watching the racing live. And he says he's looking forward to some action and seeing the talking done on track. Couldn't have put it better myself, C. Barry. We hope you enjoy tonight. So, Ellen, any thoughts ahead of qualifying? We've only got about 100 seconds until we head into that all-important session.
I think that's a very valid comment that the talking will be done on the track tonight, because it is so technical. I think, like, we're seeing and hearing in the hot lap, I don't think you can just be, it's more than just being a fast driver. Like, it's not just down to pace tonight. A lot of it will be down to technicalities as well. So I think it's going to throw some curveballs. I think it's going to be exciting, as they have been all series so far. So I think it's exciting, and I'm ready and excited to see them all get out on track and get those quali times in.
Absolutely. Just a reminder, it's a 10-minute qualifying session, so not like the officials that you may race in, where you get 2 laps on your own. It's a 10-minute open session, and Ellen, I think that leaves the door open for a lot of slipstreaming gamesmanship.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will be. I just think there's so many things to factor into this track. There's going to be some games played, I think. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. It's going to be probably a pile out of the pit lane, as per usual. Just remind you of the running order in this practice session so far. We have Harrison fastest by just 44 thousandths of a second to Danny Henney, and then we have Gregory Leader 3/10 of a place in third. Stephen Williams and Alex Jonesma, that's your top 5, both race winners so far this season. Brian Boomsma in 6th place. Kyle Power, Missed Apex panelist, in 7th place. Ishmael Basso, the gold driver leader at the moment. That gold driver championship battle is incredibly tight at the moment. Just 1 point separates Basso and Jonesma, so definitely one to look out for tonight. Dobbelsberger and Anil Singh, that is your top 10 for the free practice session. And now we get into the juicy bit of qualifying, and look, it's a field of cars already making their way out of the pit lane. It's Alexander Dobbelsberger in that black and white ace of spades car who's leading the field away ahead of Lukas Raskowitz in the JPS Tribute, that black and gold very 80s Lotus look on his car, and then championship leader Danny Henney in that bright red number 1 car, that classic Venom's Work livery that we've come to know and love. Richard Molden's just behind them in the lime green, squabbling away for track position, and Henney's actually got past Raskowitz on this outlap, and track position here is going to be absolutely crucial. We just see Harrison behind them in that bright yellow car is in a bit of traffic, got Boomsma behind him, but he won't want to be behind the likes of Malden and Greenhow, who, with the greatest respect to those two drivers, he isn't going to be fighting today. So luckily it's a very short outlap here, so we don't have very long at all to wait for the cars to come round. Dobbelsberger is now making his way around those final two corners to start his first flying lap. Now we could well see a record number of laps. Such a short lap, only 1 minute 23 we're looking at for pole position, I think. Such a short lap, we could see 6 flying laps be put in to this one, and that's going to be absolutely crucial. As we well know, these tires on these cars, they take a while to get up to temperature, probably 3 or 4 laps or so. So we'll definitely see the best towards the end. Dobbelsberger with clear air in front of him as he heads through the first sector. 21.5 for him. Henny already 0.3 up on that. 21.2 so far. See what Harrison, he's done a 21.3. And given that Harrison and Henny were the top 2 cars in practice, we'll be looking at them for pole positions. Dobbelsberger too deep on the way into turn 3. He's gone through the gravel, and that's his first lap already gone, and Henny's caught right up to the back of that Ace of Spades car, so he'll benefit from the slipstream for a little bit, but the wake, especially in this section of the track, is going to be killing his lap time. So still early doors in this session, so it's not game over just yet, but Henny's either going to want to back off or get past Dobbelsberger in a bit of a hurry. I should say I referred to what Formula 1 calls turn 3 as turn 4 as turn 3. We're doing it properly. We're not counting the fact that that little kink is turn 2. Not my idea. It's iRacing's, so you can take it up with them if you like. But as it stands, this is a 9-corner track, not a 10-corner track. First lap times on the board, and it's unsurprisingly Henny leading the way on a 124.7 by 0.3 of a second to Luca Harrison, and then a few hundredths back to Dronsma in third. But of course, still early days. Don't read too much into these lap times. Apologies if you're seeing Alexander Dobbelsberger blinking in and out there. Who has once again gone wide into turn 3, and that has now released Henny, but he's now catching up with the cars who were not so eager to get out at the start of the session straight away, and is already going to put effectively a lap on some of these guys. Traffic management in this qualifying session, and indeed in the races, looks like it's going to be absolutely crucial here.
Definitely.
Henny getting the traffic there. Sorry to cut over you there, Ellen, but Henny caught the traffic at exactly the wrong moment. There was a slow car wandering back across the racing line into that very speed right-hander, and I believe that same car has just had a spin at the final turn and will not be a popular boy in the Discord chat.
I was just going to say, as much as, you know, we did mention earlier that raw pace and will come into it a lot, as it always does in the race. There will be the technicalities where they'll make gains. Actually, this quali will be a good experience for them then going into the race for how they're going to start to make those moves, those attacks, and figure out where they lie in the race.
Absolutely. Every lap on here is a learning lap, I think. This track is short, but it is quite deceptively difficult. So that lap for Henny did not count because he had to go off the track to avoid that slowing car, but he still remains at the top of the times. It's Gregory Leader who's actually jumped into second place, bridging that gap to Harrison a little bit. We're watching Kyle Power at the moment, who currently sits in 6th place behind Brian Boomsma in the standings. He heads through this sort of infield section, probably one of the most tricky parts of the circuit, and definitely where you're going to start to feel that front end wake if you are stuck behind another car. And it's fantastic fantastic final 2 corners, where another place where we're going to be talking about track limits, unfortunately. But Kyle doing a very good job, being very respectful there, as Dobertsberger now hits the front of the field. He has just gone purple with a 1 minute 24.4. Alex Dronsma into second place as well, pushes Henny down into third place. Stephen Williams now at the front on a 24.4. Just half a tenth separates Williams and Dobertsberger at the front of the field. Just over 3.5 minutes remaining in this session. Kyle now is coming up on all sorts of traffic as they're squabbling for track position. Richard Molden lets him go there. Decides to fight for another day. Richard Molden, one of the admins for this championship, along with Sam Watley. We are forever grateful for the work they put into this series, because it would not exist without them. And I've got to say, Richard's been showing quite good pace so far this week, so I do hope he can get it together and put in a solid qualifying lap. Now, somebody who has not put in a solid qualifying lap so far is David Hatton, the inaugural Formula Renault Challenge champion, down in 17th at the moment. So he'll be hoping for a little bit of Monster Energy boost for his qualifying. If you are unaware, he has a Monster Energy livery. That's what that's all about. Lucas Raskovitz goes up into 4th place. Is immediately usurped by Kyle Powler, but Raskovitz, the silver driver points leader, so the lowest class we have, up in 5th place overall. That is monumental. No wonder that he has been dominating that class at the moment. Leads it by 57 points.
Incredibly promising start, isn't it?
Yeah, I've no doubt that he will be bumped up to gold for next season, and also due a promotion, I think, at Basso and Dronsma at the head of the gold field as well. Henny reclaims the top spot now by 0.2 of a second. He has put in a 1 minute 24.1, so has usurped Dobertsberger there. It's still Williams behind them, Power in 4th, Raskovitz 5th, Dronsma in 6th, then Singh leader Tim Ellis, who was the championship leader for most of this season, and then Andy Flagg in 10th place. But still 90 seconds or so remaining on the clock, so depending on when Henny reaches the line here, may just sneak in an extra lap. It's going to be very, very tight. I don't think we'll see until it gets across the line, unfortunately. That was very nip and tuck, but what a lap that one was, a 23.9, the first driver to go sub 124. Power gets close, 124.2, goes into second place, 0.3 behind Henny at the moment. And Henny, well, he has been the qualifying king so far this season, taken all but one pole position so far this season. That was at the opening round, where he was, I would say, a little bit denied by Harrison spinning right in front of him at the final corner. It was Bradley Philpott on pole position that day, and Henny and Philpott famously came together at Lake Coombe on the opening lap. That was the first moment of drama for this new championship, and believe me, it didn't stop there.
No, every lap that the drivers have out on this track is going to be, like you say, learning. But Danny Henny already looks so well studied here.
Absolutely, and well, he is one of the absolute top drivers of the field, although he's going to get held up here by Taro Tyler in that 64 blue and white car, unfortunately, and has been sat behind him through these final 2 corners. So I would be surprised if he improves on his time. He does not, by half a second. Now, did he just sneak over the line there in time? It certainly looks like he's still pushing, so I'm going to assume he is. Power still in that second place. Dronsma has just jumped up into 4th ahead of Stephen Williams. And don't forget, Dronsma and Basso in that fight for the gold driver honours, which with only 1 point separating them in that class. Now, Luca Harrison, we have not talked about him so far this session. He's just gone into 6th place. I I wonder where his pace has gone. If he's been held up at some point, hasn't found the right gap in the traffic, but certainly not the kind of pace we expected to see from the man who not only led this practice session just a few minutes ago, but has also been showing some rocket speed during the week's practice. So this will be the final lap for Henny then, and it looks like he is slowing down. He is indeed. He's coming into the pits. So that is all she wrote for Danny Henny. 123.9 is the benchmark. I don't think anyone is currently in a position to try and take that away from him. It looks like pretty much everyone is now making their way back into the pits, and that would suggest to me that for the fourth time this season, it will be Danny Henny on pole position ahead of Kyle Power and Alexander Dobertsberger. Give you a rundown of the rest of the order. So it was Alex Jonsma who took 4th place there, ahead of Stephen Williams. Luca Harrison secured 6th place. Anil Singh in 7th. Brian Boomsma, Lucas Raskowitz, and Ishmael Basso. That is your top 10. Further down the field in 11th place, we have Andy Flagg, Tim Ellis in 12th, and Gregory Leader in 13th, Barry Kemp in 14th, Mark Greenhow in 15th, Alex McBride in 16th, then Colin Ward, David Hatton starting all the way down in 18th place, John McClintock and Richard Spanners ready. That is your top 20, and don't forget that top 20 is where we will reverse the grid for the next 2 races. So that 20th spot will bag you pole position for the second race, and Spanners starting in that 20th position, but he will have the likes of John Cox and Colton Myers for very close company. The 2 Venom Works liveried cars on the front row of the grid, the red of Danny Henny and the bright green of Kyle Power. They are going to be the 2 cars charging towards that first corner. Dobertsberger and Jonsma and Williams, the top 5 on the grid. Watch out for Luca Harrison in 6th as well. We are about to get underway for round 5 of the iRacing F3 Cup, and Henny leads the field away. I don't think Power got a great start because he's being challenged by Dobertsberger down into that first corner. Jonsma taking to the curbing to try and avoid the melee, and Dobertsberger and Power side by side for that second place spot as Henny is leading them away on the run up towards turn 2. Dobertsberger is going to be on the outside line. He's having to leave a lot of space because of the blinking car that is Dobertsberger, and they both managed to navigate turn 2 safely. Running off across the curb there was Brian Boomsma in the orange and black car, but still they are wheel to wheel for second place between Dobertsberger and Power. Williams and Jonsma looking to get in on this as well. It's Power who retakes that second place. Williams and Jonsma now about to do the dance as well, as Jonsma slots into 4th place behind Dobertsberger. All the meanwhile, Danny Henny is romping away down into this very fast section of track, the left and right, and then these final 2 very high speed right-handers. And Jonsma looks to have a look down the inside to try and get himself onto the podium. Dobertsberger runs out wide, seeing the white crested nose in his mirrors. Look at that for a train of cars that are currently chasing down Danny Henny, who leads this race by 1 second at the end of lap 1. Then it's Power, Dobertsberger, Jonsma, Williams and Harrison all in a line, as Jonsma looked like he thought about going around the outside of turn 1. That was very brave indeed, but it looks like it's compromised his run as he bounced over the curves, as he's got Williams now challenging him down the inside for 4th place towards turn 2. Jonsma with a bit of slipstream from Dobertsberger. Looks like he's able to repel Williams's advances, who is running that green Aston Martin coloured car, and he got a bit of a wiggle on out of turn 2, and that could well give Harrison a run at him down towards the braking zone at turn 3. He's on the outside line, and he's going to have to try and Perez it around the outside, and they do not touch, and they both make it through safely, and it looks like Harrison now is going to have the line into turn 5 and makes that move stick. A bit of a wiggle as Williams still not thinking this is done, tries to go around the outside, but Harrison goes through and is into 5th place. How long is that going to last though? Because look how close Williams is to the back of Harrison's car, and doesn't think about a move into those final two. Well, Harrison goes very, very wide at the penultimate corner, though. Perhaps a deliberate little cheat to try and open up the gap to Williams. It certainly works for him. He's opened up half a second on the Aston Martin car there, who is now got to watch out for Anil Singh in that rather striking pink car in his mirrors. Now look at this. Dobertsberger and Kyle Power look very close for second place again now. Power lost another half second to Henny on that second. Oh, Drelsma has gone round. He was in fourth place there, I believe, but he's lost it out of turn 2 and is now tumbling down the order. That's such a shame for him. But meanwhile, we're still fixated on this battle for second place. Alexander Dobertsberger in that number 21 Motorhead Ace of Spades car, staring down the back of the bright green number 6 car of Kyle Power. Both of these drivers have taken wins so far this season. I say wins, one win apiece, multiple podiums, so they certainly know what it takes to be fighting up at the front of the field in this championship. And they do have to be careful, though, because if they start squabbling, they will invite Harrison to join them. And Harrison has just gone very wide again at that penultimate corner. Now, I know the liberties you can take with that corner are a little bit more extreme than what they were in the F1, for example, but still, he's got to be triggering some 1Xs there. And don't forget, if you get 16 Xs, you will be given a drive-through penalty. Now, look at this for second place. Dobertsberger much closer on the run into turn 2. Now Power defends, and Dobertsberger's got to try and go the long way around, braking up the hill towards turn 2. Dobertsberger around the outside. Good thing about that corner is the camber means you can make that work. They're still neck and neck down this straight. Power will have the line down into turn 3. See if Dobertsberger fancies a run around the outside again. Power very gently shows him the door to walk through and retains that second place spot. And almost immediately Harrison is on the back of these two. So Harrison, after what was maybe a little bit of a disappointing qualifying session, is now suddenly got second place in his sights, just 2 cars up the road. And don't forget about Williams and Boomsma as well, who are also in close proximity. The great thing about this track is it's very hard to lose the pack. And if you do somehow manage to do it, it's all too easy to invite them back in again by having a bit of a squabble.
Andy Flagg has been avoiding pretty much most of the trouble in that bright pink livery. He has got Tim Ellis behind him. Tim's catching up a bit. They're battling it out for 9 and 10. Further back down, though, we've got Hatton. He's been sort of in a bit of a tussle, just sort of flirting with the top 10. But Flagg and Ellis seem to be pulling away from that group, where they're all sort of very linear at the start, very bumper, nose to bumper, sort of going through. But Andy Flagg sort of pulling away now.
Yeah, Hatton has made up some places so far. It looks like Flagg and Basso are squabbling away for that 8th place spot, and they are side by side going down towards turn 3.
And Ellis just trying to get in there as well.
Yeah, fantastic scrapping for the lower regions there. Meanwhile, in that battle for second place, Dobertsberger just had a little look down the inside of turn 3, but there was no way to make that one happen. And this is music to the ears of Danny Henny, who's now 3 seconds ahead of this squabble. Just give you an update further down the order. Currently in what would be reverse grid pole is Garen Batten in that number 67 car. He's in 20th spot, but I fully expect that to be disputed before the end of the race, as we're now on lap 6 of 13, and this battle for second place continues to rage on. Those 3 cars squabbling away like mad, with Williams and Boomsma waiting patiently in the wings, and Dobertsberger looks like he's got Power napping a little bit this time, as he's found the inside line for turn 2. Now Power will try and use that camber on the outside to keep the high ground, and he has out-dragged Dobertsberger on the way out of the corner, and holds on to second place once again. This time he does go defensive towards 3, and Harrison looking to pick his way through as well. Dobbelsberger making a charge around the outside. This time he isn't forced out as wide this time, but he cannot get alongside Kyle Power's car. And these guys are going to have to contend with a bit of lap traffic very shortly. I believe that's John Lang towards the rear of the field, who they are going to come up to lap very shortly. Henny's already made his way through, and these guys are going to come up on him very quickly. Dobbelsberger getting a great slipstream now, and is going to fancy a run around the outside of the penultimate corner. Thinks better of it. Wise choice, my friend. But Williams is most definitely in this squabble now, sat there in 5th place. It could well be picking up some pieces if these guys start to trip over each other. Dobbelsberger once again has another little look down the inside of turn 1, but no way through. Probably just trying to put Power off, but it's going to take more than that to put someone of Power's caliber off focus. And once again, side by side towards turn 2. This is lap 7 now of 13. Has Dobbelsberger been able to draw clear? No, once again, Power holds it firm. Doesn't matter whether he's on the inside or the outside, he is able to keep that second place into turn 2. This is a sterling defensive effort here from Power. Now what's going to happen when they get down to turn 3 again? Dobbelsberger's tried twice around the outside here already. He tries for a 3rd time, and still it does not come off. Oh, a lunge down the inside though, and Power has to give him some space. Now he really did catch Power by surprise there, and he may now well find himself in 2nd place. Still there wheel to wheel going through these turns 6 and 7, and still Power holds on. What a drive, and now Harrison has drawn alongside Dobbelsberger. He'll have the slipstream from Power. Surely he's not going to go around the outside of the penultimate corner. Once again, runs out very, very wide, and very nearly contacted that final corner, and that was a little bit cheeky from Harrison, but I don't think we should come to expect anything less of him. That's really compromised Dobbelsberger though, because Williams is now coming through into turn 1 as well. And oh, did they just make contact? I heard some crunching of wheel hubs or some carbon fiber there, but Dobbelsberger runs off the track and loses both places. Boomsman now looking to take advantage of that. So he's past Dobbelsberger. Now he's going to try and get past Williams as well on the run into turn 2. Now Williams breaks deep and holds it firm and retains that 4th place spot. Boomsman having another look around the outside. I'll go for it, Ellen.
No, I was going to say Edward Cherry's been nipping at the heels of Colton Myers for probably about 2 or 3 laps now after Gregory Leader made his way past him, and now the two of them are just completely going at it. They're just taking any opportunity to attack each other. Shelley has just got round, and then Myers will go back at him again.
That's the wonderful thing about this championship. Great racing up or down the field. Doesn't matter what your skill level is, you'll be fighting for something. Now Williams and Boomsman got very, very close into turn 3. So a puff of smoke as there was maybe a bit of tyre to tyre contact. Oh no, Dobbelsberger out to the final corner, out of what I believe was 5th place, has dropped it, and he's now well and truly out of this battle now. So this has not gone the way Dobbelsberger wanted to at all. Meanwhile, Harrison in 3rd place, now right up the gearbox of Kyle Power, and Power's going to have to do some more defending here, and well, he chooses not to into turn 2. He made this work against Dobbelsberger. Is he going to be able to do the same against Harrison? No, he goes through. Clean as you like, clinical like a knife through butter. Power's going to come back at him though in the slipstream, and Harrison doesn't move defensively, and Power down the inside at turn 3 could well take it back. Harrison goes a long way around, and they're going to be neck and neck on the exit of the corner, but surely Harrison will have the high ground into this next left-hander and holds on to that 2nd place, where we've now got just 5 laps to go. Thrilling battle for 2nd place we've seen here, and Kyle Power, that stout defense of that position has sadly come to an end. What's he got left in the tank, I wonder? Can he make a charge back at Harrison? who has once again run very wide on that penultimate corner, and well, he's most certainly doing it deliberately. He's got to be flirting with danger a little bit of getting that drive-through penalty, though. Four laps to go in this one, and Harrison had a mighty run out of turn one. Actually, he's just pulled almost a second on power already. So Harrison, his hopes of victory well, in this race are looking not so great, as Henny is now 6.5 seconds up the road. So it looks like it's going to be yet another feature race victory for the championship leader, who is proving once again why he's in such a strong position in the points standings. Harrison and Power, the podium at the moment, unless Stephen Williams can try and get himself back in there. He's not far behind Power, just half a second in it. So Power better look over his shoulder in these final few laps. Brian Boomsma in 5th place at the moment, a little bit on his own, as there's a bit of a gap back to Andy Flagg, and then Ishmael Basso, who has Tim Ellis for close company, who has come up from what I believe was 11th on the grid. He's now staring at the back of Basso's car. And, having a look down the inside of the penultimate corner. That's a brave one indeed. Forces Basso out wide. I thought he might just sneak through at that final corner, but no way for him there. Raskovitz and Alex McBride and Dobertsberger are very close behind them as well. That's the top 11. Alex McBride running what I believe would be a fan favourite white and red Missed Apex Swarm livery, although he looks like he's about to lose that top 10 spot to Dobertsberger, as Ellis has now made his way past Basso for that 7th place spot. Basso went wide on the exit of that turn 1, compromised his run up the hill, and Ellis needed no second invitation.
Mark Greenhow currently sat in that 20th position, that reverse grid pole, but just behind him, Alex Van Gee. So he'll be nipping right at his heels and wanting to get past him in these next few laps.
That all-important 20th spot, it can turn around your weekend, or your night, I should say. Now, Williams has most definitely caught the back of Kyle Power now, so the battle for 3rd place is the one to watch for what is going to be these final 2 laps of this feature race for round 5 of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. Henny leads the field, 7 seconds clear of Harrison. Then this battle for 3rd place, Power in the bright green number 6 car. Stephen Williams in the number 7 Aston Martin colours behind him, fighting for the last spot on the podium. It's the run up towards turn 2, that fantastic slipstreaming opportunity which Williams is just soaking up at the moment. Power goes defensive, and Williams going to have to go the long way around. No way through for him on that occasion. He's going to line up the exit and get the run back down the hill towards turn 3. Power is not going to move from that right-hand side of the circuit. And Williams once again forced to the outside, and thinks better of trying to brave it out around the outside. Goes for the undercut. Has he just drawn alongside Power there? I believe he has, but he's going to be on the wrong line into this next left-hander. So there's no way through for him there. And he will be suffering in the turbulent air of Power's car. So certainly doing a very good job to stick with him through this twistier section of the track. Look at the run he's got back up towards the penultimate corner, though. Doesn't try to brave a move around the outside of what is the fastest corner on this track. White flag has gone out, so we're on the final lap now, and Henny most definitely clear and comfortable at the moment. The battle for 3rd place is the one to watch. Power versus Williams. And Williams going to be running out of corners soon enough. Now a slow car just emerging from the pits. That may well be the saviour to Kyle Power, as he's taking that slipstream with him. Or it may also be his worst enemy if he gets boxed in here at turn 2. Williams has found the inside line. Oh, Power just cuts across the nose of Williams' car, and they both navigate the back marker. I think Power just benefited from that slipstream. That may well have just kept him in 2nd place for now, but Williams got a couple more opportunities yet. down towards turn 3, looks towards the inside, not late enough on the brakes. Thought that he could try and catch Power out there, but Kyle Power too wise for that one. Meanwhile, Danny Henney into the final sector of the lap now, and has just been absolutely imperious as per usual in his pursuit of the championship, and is on course to take yet another feature race victory, and what will be his 8th of the season. Unbelievable from Danny Henney, car number 1 in position 1 once again. Luca Harrison comes across the line in 2nd place, and there is Kyle Power. He has been able to repel the advances of Stephen Williams, and he bags the podium. Brian Boomsma in 5th place, then Andy Flagg and Tim Ellis in that 7th place spot. And Alexander Dobbelsberger, after a spin earlier on, has recovered to 8th place, just in front of Lucas Raskowitz and Alex McBride in that rather smart white and red Missed Apex Swarm livery is in 10th place. So that is race 1 done. Let's try and get Danny in here very briefly. I know it's a very short in lap, so we will have to be quick with him. Danny on the top step of the podium once again.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm absolutely buzzing about that. I was panicking a bit after last night in the practice. Lucas seemed like he'd got my number. I've been on, I ain't kidding you, for about 4 or 5 hours today, trying everything I could chucking at the car. And fortunately, I managed to find a setup what works, and now the car's perfect. Wouldn't change a thing.
Absolutely. I should correct myself. I said that was your 8th victory. It's your 8th podium, but your 5th victory of the season so far. I mean, you've surely got one hand on the championship at this point.
I wouldn't say that because I know anything can happen, but the aim's to put it pretty close tonight. Yeah, I'd like to have one hand on it by the end of the night, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's crunch time in the championship. Your start looked particularly good. You've been practicing those.
I have, Chris. Thanks for noticing. Yeah, I've been using a good little app what Matt or Kim in Slack developed. So, yeah, got it down to 2.68 seconds, 0 to 60. So I'm hoping it'll come in good in the next race. Wow,
no one is going to thank you for that. Good luck for race 2, starting in 20th. We look forward to seeing you come through the pack.
Cheers, thanks guys. See you later.
Right, well, we're going to get out of here. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with race 2.